Hi, this is Glenn, the webmaster of CayennePepper.info. I want to talk about in this video my motive for creating this Cayenne Pepper website, and I also want to talk about this potential confusion with Cayenne Pepper's classification. Let's talk about that first. Is Cayenne Pepper an herb or a spice? In the strictest definition or nomenclature possible, Cayenne Pepper is a spice. I've always thought of it as a spice, even though I refer to it as an herb, and I'll tell you why momentarily. But let me tell you what incited this, or what inspired this video and this Cayenne Herb or Spice webpage. I received an email yesterday that was very rude from an individual who basically questioned my motives for creating this site, as well as deriding me for something as simple as calling Cayenne an herb when it is in fact a spice. I was irritated and upset by that email, and it angered me because I know my motives have been pure. But let's talk about what cayenne is. In the strictest definition, cayenne is a spice. It's thought of as a spice. To the person who goes down to their local grocery store and buys cayenne to use as a condiment, it is on the spice rack, and it is referred to and thought of as a spice. To food preparation professionals, cayenne pepper is thought of as a spice as well. So, that said, why do I refer to cayenne as an herb? I refer to cayenne as a medicinal herb because cayenne pepper is in the alternative health medicinal herbalist community, if you will. It's referred to consistently by experts in that field as an herb because of its therapeutic health benefits. It's put under the umbrella of other medicinal herbs because of that, for that reason. Dr. John R. Christopher, the individual who literally wrote the book on medicinal herbs, a man who was a naturopathic doctor as well as a master herbalist, he consistently referred to cayenne pepper in his writings as an herb. Dr. John Heinerman, a PhD doctor, I have a couple of his books. He has consistently referred to cayenne pepper as an herb, even though it's a spice. David Christopher, master herbalist. Kurt King, master herbalist. Dr. Richard Schultz, a naturopathic doctor and a master herbalist. They've all referred to cayenne pepper in their writings as an herb, even though it is, in its strictest definition, a spice. There's no intent to mislead here. There never was, certainly not on my part, and I never was able to infer that through the writings that I've read of these various individuals. I should tell you, I actually know Kurt King. He was a friend of mine. I actually, he was the person who introduced me to medicinal herbs and cayenne pepper, and he was the one who encouraged me to learn about it. And so it's because of him that I was inspired by cayenne and learned about cayenne and medicinal herbs in general. He referred to it in our conversations consistently as an herb. So, those individuals who are experts, who are master herbalists, I don't have a master herbalist master's or certification. I'm not a naturopathic doctor. I'm not a doctor, and I've never presented myself as such. They all refer to cayenne as an herb, even though in its strictest sense it should be referred to as a spice, but it's put under that alternative health medicinal herbalist umbrella as an herb, and that's how it's referred to. But there's no intention to mislead or deceive. Certainly not on their part, and certainly not on my part. And that dovetails to my next point. I suppose it's natural to be thought of as an expert when you have the audacity to put up a website on an herb like cayenne pepper. But I didn't. That was not my intent, and I never thought of that actually, and I actually never considered myself an expert on it. But this individual questioned my motives, and that upset me. But this dovetails also nicely to point number 2. What are my motives? What was my motive for creating this website on cayenne pepper? I had one motive for creating this website. It was to share my enthusiasm about medicinal herbs, and this particular herb, cayenne pepper, because I've seen personally it do many remarkable things. It cured for me this is embarrassing to talk about, a hemorrhoid problem I had. I had a prolapsed hemorrhoid. I had swelling with the blood vessels there. There was itching. There was blood. and I started taking cayenne consistently. And I knew about it for years, but knowledge is useless unless applied. So I realized that, look, this will work if I change my diet, if I start taking cayenne. So I started taking cayenne, and literally in 2 days it cured me of my hemorrhoid issue. On my honor. I've had emails from people from literally around the world, from Bangladesh, India, Australia, England, all over the US, and of course Canada, uh, emailing me talking about their personal experiences with cayenne pepper. These emails come to me unbidden and unsolicited through my YouTube uh, inbox, as well as my web-based email at Gmail, or through Google's Gmail service. So I'm always gratified by that. It's fun, and I got to be honest. When I put up this website, I didn't do any keyword research or any niche research whatsoever. And to anyone who knows anything about web marketing or internet marketing, to do so is very short-sighted. But I put it up without doing any research whatsoever because I had the sole motive to share my enthusiasm about cayenne pepper with others who might be open-minded to it. And that was it. Now, a nice ancillary benefit is that the site gets really great traffic, which surprised me, and it has and does make money. Not a lot. I'm certainly not making enough to live off of by any stretch of the imagination. I assure you of that. And I that would be cool, but it simply hasn't been the case. I've also not done any search engine optimization work on Cayenne. In order to get the word out about my website, I wrote a couple of articles that were published on on ezine articles, and that was how I got traffic for the longest time. And then the search engine spiders spidered and indexed my website, and so then I started getting a lot of traffic from Bing.com, which is Microsoft's search engine. And I've looked at my stats, and that's where I get the bulk of my traffic. But now, through purely word of mouth and an unforced grassroots effort, if you will, I've gotten a lot of website visitors by people referring me or referring this website and these videos to friends of theirs. And so now Google, as of yesterday, my website was ranked number 11 in Google for the keyword term cayenne pepper. What's interesting to me is I've done literally nothing from an SEO perspective to get that going. I have other things that I've done, but I really haven't done hardly anything with the site other than creating new content consistently. And regarding the content, I've created every single web page on the site myself. I've written it all. I've not outsourced it whatsoever. The site is doing great with traffic. It was actually number 10 yesterday with the search term cayenne pepper, but then it backed down to 11, which was interesting. I don't know why. I mean, that's weird, but so maybe I'll get more website traffic through that. But I'm gratified by that. It's cool because I think more and more people are learning about medicinal herbs because of their dissatisfaction with Western medicine. I think Western medicine is a great blessing. I've never thought otherwise, but I also know and believe that they do not have all the answers. They excel at medical research and in emergency medicine care, but it does not give you answers or cures. And why? Because my belief is that there's more money in disease than in curing people. A number of years ago, about 5-6 years ago or so, I read this article in GQ or Esquire magazine about this woman who is a PhD biochemist. She was a PhD, I remember that, but she developed a cure for alopecia, for baldness, in women as well as men. She tried to sell the technology to this hair care company type of company, but they didn't want it because they said to her, "Why would we buy this? It's a one-time cure, and they're not going to come back." Because you see, they realize that if you can sell something that people will consistently buy, they're going to make more money. So there's more money in disease than in cure. Cayenne pepper, with what it can do to remove heart disease, it would literally eliminate the need for selling cholesterol-lowering drugs and heart disease drugs like Lipitor and others. Lipitor makes about $10 billion a year for Pfizer. That's a lot of money. People have killed for a lot less money than that. And if people like Dr. Christopher have been incarcerated and prosecuted and persecuted by the medical community because they don't want people knowing about the therapeutic health benefits of medicinal herbs. So it's left up to people like me who have a sincere interest in sharing this knowledge through my educational site, and this is an educational site. My time is up. Thanks for watching. Now you know my motives and why I put up this website. Take care.